Chapter 28. It shall happen, if you shall listen diligently to the voice of the Lord your God, to observe to do all his commandments which I command you this day, then the Lord your God will set you on high above all the nations of the earth. And all these blessings shall come on you, and overtake you, if you shall listen to the voice of the Lord your God. Blessed shall you be in the city, and blessed shall you be in the field. Blessed shall be the fruit of your body, and the fruit of your ground, and the fruit of your animals, the increase of your cattle, and the young of your flocks. Blessed shall be your basket and your netting trough. Blessed shall you be when you come in, and blessed shall you be when you go out. The Lord will cause your enemies who rise up against you to be struck before you. They shall come out against you one way, and shall flee before you 7 ways. The Lord will command the blessing on you in your barns, and in all that you put your hand to do, and he will bless you in the land which the Lord your God gives you. The Lord will establish you for a holy people to himself, as he has sworn to you, if you shall keep the commandments of the Lord your God, and walk in his ways. All the peoples of the earth shall see that you are called by the name of the Lord, and they shall be afraid of you. The Lord will make you plenteous for good, in the fruit of your body, and in the fruit of your cattle, and in the fruit of your ground, in the land which the Lord swore to your fathers to give you. The Lord will open to you his good treasure in the sky, to give the rain of your land in its season, and to bless all the work of your hand. And you shall lend to many nations, and you shall not borrow. The Lord will make you the head and not the tail, and you shall be above only, and you shall not be beneath, if you shall listen to the commandments of the Lord your God, which I command you this day, to observe and to do them, and shall not turn aside from any of the words which I command you this day, to the right hand or to the left, to go after other gods to serve them. But it shall come to pass, if you will not listen to the voice of the Lord your God to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command you this day, that all these curses shall come on you and overtake you. Cursed shall you be in the city, and cursed shall you be in the field. Cursed shall be your basket and your netting trough. Cursed shall be the fruit of your body, and the fruit of your ground, the increase of your cattle, and the young of your flocks. Cursed shall you be when you come in, and cursed shall you be when you go out. The Lord will send on you cursing, confusion, and rebuke, in all that you put your hand to do until you are destroyed, and until you perish quickly, because of the evil of your doings, by which you have forsaken me. The Lord will make the pestilence cleave to you until he has consumed you from off the land, where you go in to possess it. The Lord will strike you with consumption, and with fever, and with inflammation, and with fiery heat, and with the sword, and with blasting, and with mildew, and they shall pursue you until you perish. Your sky that is over your head shall be brass, and the earth that is under you shall be iron. The Lord will make the rain of your land powder, and dust from the sky it shall come down on you until you are destroyed. The Lord will cause you to be struck before your enemies. You shall go out one way against them, and shall flee 7 ways before them, and you shall be tossed back and forth among all the kingdoms of the earth. Your dead body shall be food to all the birds of the sky, and to the animals of the earth, and there shall be none to frighten them away. The Lord will strike you with the boils of Egypt, and with the tumors, and with the scurvy, and with the itch of which you cannot be healed. The Lord will strike you with madness, and with blindness, and with astonishment of heart, and you shall grope at noonday, as the blind gropes in darkness, and you shall not prosper in your ways, and you shall be only oppressed and robbed always, and there shall be none to save you. You shall betroth a wife, and another man shall lie with her. You shall build a house, and you shall not dwell therein. You shall plant a vineyard, and you shall not use the fruit of it. Your ox shall be slain before your eyes, and you shall not eat of it. Your donkey shall be violently taken away from before your face, and shall not be restored to you. Your sheep shall be given to your enemies, and you shall have none to save you. Your sons and your daughters shall be given to another people, and your eyes shall look and fail with longing for them all the day, and there shall be nothing in the power of your hand. The fruit of your ground and all your labors shall a nation which you don't know eat up, and you shall be only oppressed and crushed always, so that you shall be mad for the sight of your eyes which you shall see. The Lord will strike you in the knees and in the legs with a sore boil, of which you cannot be healed, from the sole of your foot to the crown of your head. The Lord will bring you and your king whom you shall set over you, to a nation you have not known, you nor your fathers, and there you shall serve other gods, wood and stone. You shall become an astonishment, a proverb and a byword among all the peoples where the Lord shall lead you away. You shall carry much seed out into the field, and shall gather little in, for the locust shall consume it. You shall plant vineyards and dress them, but you shall neither drink of the wine, nor gather the grapes, for the worm shall eat them. You shall have olive trees throughout all your borders, but you shall not anoint yourself with the oil, for your olive shall cast its fruit. You shall father sons and daughters, but they shall not be yours, for they shall go into captivity. All your trees and the fruit of your ground shall the locust possess. The foreigner who is in the midst of you shall mount up above you higher and higher, and you shall come down lower and lower. He shall lend to you, and you shall not lend to him. He shall be the head, and you shall be the tail. All these curses shall come on you, and shall pursue you, and overtake you until you are destroyed, because you didn't listen to the voice of the Lord your God, to keep his commandments and his statutes which he commanded you. And they shall be on you for a sign and for a wonder, and on your seed forever, because you didn't serve the Lord your God with joyfulness and with gladness of heart, by reason of the abundance of all things. Therefore shall you serve your enemies, whom the Lord shall send against you, in hunger and in thirst, and in nakedness and in want of all things. And he shall put a yoke of iron on your neck, until he has destroyed you. The Lord will bring a nation against you from afar, from the end of the earth, as the eagle flies, a nation whose language you shall not understand, a nation of fierce facial expressions, that shall not regard the person of the old, nor show favor to the young, and shall eat the fruit of your cattle, and the fruit of your ground, until you are destroyed. That also shall not leave you grain, new wine, or oil, the increase of your cattle, or the young of your flock, until they have caused you to perish. They shall besiege you in all your gates, until your high and fortified walls come down, in which you trusted, throughout all your land, and they shall besiege you in all your gates throughout all your land, which the Lord your God has given you. You shall eat the fruit of your own body, the flesh of your sons and of your daughters, whom the Lord your God has given you, in the siege and in the distress with which your enemies shall distress you. The man who is tender among you and very delicate, his eye shall be evil toward his brother, and toward the wife of his bosom, and toward the remnant of his children whom he has remaining, so that he will not give to any of them of the flesh of his children, whom he shall eat, because he has nothing left to him in the siege, and in the distress with which your enemies shall distress you in all your gates. The tender and delicate woman among you, who would not adventure to set the sole of her foot on the ground for delicateness and tenderness, her eye shall be evil toward the husband of her bosom, and toward her son, and toward her daughter, and toward her young ones who come out from between her feet, and toward her children whom she shall bear, for she shall eat them for one of all things secretly, in the siege, and in the distress with which your enemy shall distress you in your gates. If you will not observe to do all the words of this law that are written in this book, that you may fear this glorious and fearful name, the Lord your God, then the Lord will make your plagues wonderful, and the plagues of your seed, even great plagues, and of long continuance, and very great sickness of long continuance. He will bring on you all the diseases of Egypt, which you were afraid of, and they shall cleave to you. Also every sickness and every plague, which is not written in the book of this law, these will the Lord God bring on you until you are destroyed. You shall be left few in number, whereas you were as the stars of the sky for multitude, because you didn't listen to the voice of the Lord your God. It shall happen, that as the Lord rejoiced over you to do you good, and to multiply you, so the Lord will rejoice over you to cause you to perish and to destroy you, and you shall be plucked from off the land where you go in to possess it. The Lord will scatter you among all peoples, from the one end of the earth even to the other end of the earth, and there you shall serve other gods which you have not known, you nor your fathers, even wood and stone. Among these nations shall you find no ease, and there shall be no rest for the sole of your foot. But the Lord will give you there a trembling heart, and failing of eyes, and pining of soul, and your life shall hang in doubt before you, and you shall fear night and day, and shall have no assurance of your life. In the morning you shall say, Would that it were evening, and at evening you shall say, Would that it were morning, for the fear of your heart which you shall fear, and for the sight of your eyes which you shall see. The Lord will bring you into Egypt again with ships, by the way of which I said to you, You shall see it again no more, and there you shall sell yourselves to your enemies for bondservants and for bondmaids, and no man shall buy you. Chapter 29. These are the words of the covenant which the Lord commanded Moses to make with the children of Israel in the land of Moab, besides the covenant which he made with them in Horeb. Moses called to all Israel and said to them, You have seen all that the Lord did before your eyes in the land of Egypt to Pharaoh, and to all his servants, and to all his land. The great trials which your eyes saw, the signs and those great wonders. But the Lord has not given you a heart to know, and eyes to see, and ears to hear to this day. I have led you 40 years in the wilderness. Your clothes have not grown old on you, and your shoe has not grown old on your foot. You have not eaten bread, neither have you drunk wine or strong drink, that you may know that I am the Lord your God. When you came to this place, Sihon the king of Heshbon, and Og the king of Bashan came out against us to battle, and we struck them, and we took their land, and gave it for an inheritance to the Reubenites, and to the Gadites, and to the half-tribe of the Manassites. Keep therefore the words of this covenant, and do them, that you may prosper in all that you do. You stand this day all of you before the Lord your God, your heads, your tribes, your elders and your officers, even all the men of Israel, your little ones, your wives, and your foreigner who is in the midst of your camps, from the one who cuts your wood to the one who draws your water, that you may enter into the covenant of the Lord your God, and into his oath, which the Lord your God makes with you this day, that he may establish you this day to himself for a people, and that he may be to you a God, as he spoke to you, and as he swore to your fathers, to Abraham, to Isaac, and to Jacob. Neither with you only do I make this covenant and this oath, but with him who stands here with us this day before the Lord our God, and also with him who is not here with us this day. For you know how we lived in the land of Egypt, and how we came through the midst of the nations through which you passed, and you have seen their abominations, and their idols, wood and stone, silver and gold, which were among them. Lest there should be among you a man, or a woman, or family, or tribe, whose heart turns away this day from the Lord our God, to go serve the gods of those nations, lest there should be among you a root that bears gall and wormwood, and it happen, when he hears the words of this curse, that he blesses himself in his heart, saying, I shall have peace, though I walk in the stubbornness of my heart, to destroy the moist with the dry. The Lord will not pardon him, but then the anger of the Lord and his jealousy will smoke against that man, and all the curse that is written in this book shall lie on him, and the Lord will blot out his name from under the sky. The Lord will set him apart to evil out of all the tribes of Israel, according to all the curses of the covenant that is written in this book of the law. The generation to come, your children who shall rise up after you, and the foreigner who shall come back from a far land, shall say, when they see the plagues of that land, and the sickness with which the Lord has made it sick, and that the whole land of it is sulphur and salt, and a burning, that it is not sown, nor bears, nor any grass grows therein, like the overthrow of Sodom and Gomorrah, Admah and Zeboim, which the Lord overthrew in his anger and in his wrath. Even all the nations shall say, Why has the Lord done thus to this land? And what means the heat of this great anger? Then men shall say, Because they forsook the covenant of the Lord, the God of their fathers, which he made with them when he brought them forth out of the land of Egypt, and went and served other gods and worshipped them, gods that they didn't know, and that he had not given to them. Therefore the anger of the Lord was kindled against this land, to bring on it all the curse that is written in this book. And the Lord rooted them out of their land in anger, and in wrath, and in great indignation, and cast them into another land as at this day. The secret things belong to the Lord our God, but the things that are revealed belong to us and to our children forever, that we may do all the words of this law. Chapter 30. It shall happen, when all these things are come on you, the blessing and the curse, which I have set before you, and you shall call them to mind among all the nations where the Lord your God has driven you, and shall return to the Lord your God, and shall obey his voice according to all that I command you this day, you and your children, with all your heart and with all your soul, that then the Lord your God will turn your captivity, and have compassion on you, and will return, and gather you from all the nations, where the Lord your God has scattered you. If any of your outcasts are in the uttermost parts of the heavens, from there will the Lord your God gather you, and from there will he bring you back. And the Lord your God will bring you into the land which your fathers possessed, and you shall possess it, and he will do you good, and multiply you above your fathers. The Lord your God will circumcise your heart, and the heart of your seed, to love the Lord your God with all your heart, and with all your soul, that you may live. The Lord your God will put all these curses on your enemies, and on those who hate you, who persecuted you. You shall return and obey the voice of the Lord, and do all his commandments which I command you this day. The Lord your God will make you plenteous in all the work of your hand, in the fruit of your body, and in the fruit of your cattle, and in the fruit of your ground, for good. For the Lord will again rejoice over you for good, as he rejoiced over your fathers, if you shall obey the voice of the Lord your God, to keep his commandments and his statutes, which are written in this book of the law. If you turn to the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul. For this commandment, which I command you this day, it is not too hard for you, neither is it far off. It is not in heaven that you should say, Who shall go up for us to heaven, and bring it to us, and make us to hear it, that we may do it? Neither is it beyond the sea that you may say, Who shall go over the sea for us, and bring it to us, and make us to hear it, that we may do it? But the word is very near to you, in your mouth and in your heart, that you may do it. Behold, I have set before you this day life and good, and death and evil, and that I command you this day to love the Lord your God, to walk in his ways, and to keep his commandments and his statutes and his ordinances, that you may live and multiply, and that the Lord your God may bless you in the land where you go in to possess it. But if your heart turns away, and you will not hear, but shall be drawn away, and worship other gods, and serve them, I denounce to you this day, that you shall surely perish. You shall not prolong your days in the land, where you pass over the Jordan to go in to possess it. I call heaven and earth to witness against you this day, that I have set before you life and death, the blessing and the curse. Therefore choose life, that you may live, you and your seed, to love the Lord your God, to obey his voice, and to cleave to him. For he is your life, and the length of your days, that you may dwell in the land which the Lord swore to your fathers, to Abraham, to Isaac, and to Jacob, to give them.
Meanwhile, when a multitude of many thousands had gathered together, so much so that they trampled on each other, he began to tell his disciples first of all, Beware of the yeast of the Pharisees, which is hypocrisy. But there is nothing covered up that will not be revealed, nor hidden that will not be known. Therefore, whatever you have said in the darkness will be heard in the light. What you have spoken in the ear in the inner chambers will be proclaimed on the housetops. I tell you, my friends, don't be afraid of those who kill the body, and after that have no more that they can do. But I will warn you whom you should fear. Fear him who after he has killed has power to cast into Gehenna. Yes, I tell you, fear him. Aren't 5 sparrows sold for 2 asaria? Not one of them is forgotten by God, but the very hairs of your head are all numbered. Therefore don't be afraid. You are of more value than many sparrows. I tell you, everyone who confesses me before men, him will the Son of Man also confess before the angels of God. But he who denies me in the presence of men will be denied in the presence of the angels of God. Everyone who speaks a word against the Son of Man will be forgiven, but those who blaspheme against the Holy Spirit will not be forgiven. When they bring you before the synagogues, the rulers, and the authorities, don't be anxious how or what you will answer, or what you will say. For the Holy Spirit will teach you in that same hour what you must say. One of the multitude said to him, Teacher, tell my brother to divide the inheritance with me. But he said to him, Man, who made me a judge or an arbitrator over you? He said to them, Beware, keep yourselves from covetousness, for a man's life doesn't consist of the abundance of the things which he possesses. He spoke a parable to them, saying, The ground of a certain rich man brought forth abundantly. He reasoned within himself, saying, What will I do, because I don't have room to store my crops? He said, This is what I will do. I will pull down my barns and build bigger ones, and there I will store all my grain and my goods. I will tell my soul, Soul, you have many goods laid up for many years. Take your ease, eat, drink, be merry. But God said to him, You foolish one, tonight your soul is required of you. The things which you have prepared, whose will they be? So is he who lays up treasure for himself, and is not rich toward God. He said to his disciples, Therefore I tell you, don't be anxious for your life, what you will eat, nor yet for your body, what you will wear. Life is more than food, and the body is more than clothing. Consider the ravens, they don't sow, they don't reap. They have no warehouse or barn, and God feeds them. How much more valuable are you than birds? Which of you by being anxious can add a cubit to his height? If then you aren't able to do even the least things, why are you anxious about the rest? Consider the lilies, how they grow. They don't toil, neither do they spin. Yet I tell you, even Solomon in all his glory was not arrayed like one of these. But if this is how God clothes the grass in the field, which today exists, and tomorrow is cast into the oven, how much more will he clothe you, O you of little faith? Don't seek what you will eat, or what you will drink, neither be anxious. For the nations of the world seek after all of these things, but your Father knows that you need these things. But seek God's kingdom, and all these things will be added to you. Don't be afraid, little flock, for it is your Father's good pleasure to give you the kingdom. Sell that which you have, and give gifts to the needy. Make for yourselves purses which don't grow old, a treasure in the heavens that doesn't fail, where no thief approaches, neither moth destroys. For where your treasure is, there will your heart be also. Let your loins be girded, and your lamps burning. Be like men watching for their Lord, when he returns from the marriage feast, that, when he comes and knocks, they may immediately open to him. Blessed are those servants whom the Lord will find watching when he comes. Most assuredly I tell you that he will dress himself and make them recline, and will come and serve them. They will be blessed if he comes in the 2nd or 3rd watch and finds them so. But know this, that if the master of the house had known in what hour the thief was coming, he would have watched, and not allowed his house to be broken into. Therefore be ready also, for the Son of Man is coming in an hour that you don't expect him. Peter said to him, Lord, are you telling this parable to us, or to everybody? The Lord said, Who then is the faithful and wise steward, whom his Lord will set over his household, to give them their portion of food at the right times? Blessed is that servant, whom his Lord will find doing so when he comes. Truly I tell you, that he will set him over all that he has. But if that servant says in his heart, My Lord delays his coming, and begins to beat the men servants and the maid servants, and to eat and drink and to be drunken, then the Lord of that servant will come in a day when he isn't expecting him, and in an hour that he doesn't know, and will cut him in two, and place his portion with the unfaithful. That servant, who knew his Lord's will and didn't prepare, nor do what he wanted, will be beaten with many stripes. But he who didn't know, and did things worthy of stripes, will be beaten with few stripes. To whoever much is given, of him will much be required, and to whom much was entrusted, of him more will be asked. I came to throw fire on the earth. I wish it were already kindled. But I have a baptism to be baptized with, and how distressed I am until it is accomplished. Do you think that I have come to give peace in the earth? I tell you, no, but rather division. From now on there will be 5 in one house divided, 3 against 2, and 2 against 3. They will be divided, father against son, and son against father, mother against daughter, and daughter against her mother, mother-in-law against her daughter-in-law, and daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law. He said to the multitudes also, When you see a cloud rising from the west, immediately you say, A shower is coming, and so it happens. When a south wind blows, you say, There will be a scorching heat, and it happens. You hypocrites! You know how to interpret the appearance of the earth and the sky, but how is it that you don't interpret this time? Why don't you judge for yourselves what is right? For when you are going with your adversary before the magistrate, try diligently on the way to be released from him, lest perhaps he drag you to the judge, and the judge deliver you to the officer, and the officer throw you into prison. I tell you, you will by no means get out of there until you have paid the very last penny.
Psalm 77. For the chief musician, to Jeduthun, a psalm by Asaph. My cry goes to God. Indeed, I cry to God for help, and for him to listen to me. In the day of my trouble I sought the Lord. My hand was stretched out in the night and didn't get tired. My soul refused to be comforted. I remember God and I groan. I complain and my spirit is overwhelmed. You hold my eyelids open. I am so troubled that I can't speak. I have considered the days of old, the years of ancient times. I remember my song in the night. I consider in my own heart. My spirit diligently inquires. Will the Lord reject us forever? Will he be favorable no more? Has his loving kindness vanished forever? Does his promise fail for generations? Has God forgotten to be gracious? Has he in anger withheld his compassion? Then I thought, I will appeal to this, the years of the right hand of the Most High. I will remember Yah's deeds, for I will remember your wonders of old. I will also meditate on all your work, and consider your doings. Your way, God, is in the sanctuary. What God is great like God? You are the God who does wonders. You have made your strength known among the peoples. You have redeemed your people with your arm, the sons of Jacob and Joseph. The waters saw you, God. The waters saw you, and they writhed. The depths also convulsed. The clouds poured out water. The skies resounded with thunder. Your arrows also flashed around. The voice of your thunder was in the whirlwind. The lightnings lit up the world. The earth trembled and shook. Your way was through the sea. Your paths through the great waters. Your footsteps were not known. You led your people like a flock by the hand of Moses and Aaron. There is one who speaks rashly like the piercing of a sword, but the tongue of the wise heals. Truth's lips will be established forever, but a lying tongue is only momentary. Deceit is in the heart of those who plot evil, but joy comes to the promoters of peace.